Modern Guitar School is online. A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Christian Moser. I've been a professional guitarist for over 25 years, performing live in the studio, and I've been running my own music school very successfully for many, many years. I have a lot of teaching experience, and I know exactly the problems you out there are facing. A quick word about my career, since I recently received a nice comment under one of my videos. Someone named Tobias wrote, "Christian, I know you've experienced quite a lot and have been on the road with many world-famous people. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?" That's what I wanted to do here. I'm usually someone who tends to hold back a bit with stories like that, but actually he's right. This will definitely be interesting for you, so you can see who is telling you about the guitar here. To tell this little story, I need to go back a bit and go back to 1981. I was 11 years old then, and the series was broadcast live from the Rockpalast. Kruger, Halle, Essen, and some really great rock bands always played there. I watched it at night. The band Saga performed at one of these concerts, and I was completely blown away sitting there in front of the TV thinking, oh my God, what a band, what a presence the singer had, and what a beast on the guitar. Ian Christian, totally a machine, incredibly tasteful. I thought to myself, oh man, if I could ever play guitar like that, that would be my absolute dream. So, and 16 years later this happened. I'll show it to you now. There I was, standing on stage with Michael Settler, and I got to play several concerts with him. Absolutely unbelievable. On top of that, he even did the lead vocals on one of the songs I composed from my band at the time, Sheila. He was basically a guest singer there. I'll link it for you below the video so you can listen to the song. I don't know if you can imagine it, but when you suddenly find yourself standing next to this man, or even better, when he sings on one of your own compositions, it was indescribable. You probably can't even imagine that feeling unless you're a musician yourself. Yes, that was one of the milestones I was lucky enough to experience. I'll keep weaving in little stories for you from time to time. I've had a lot of experiences in this area. So far, I'm still out there playing live a lot. But I just wanted to give you a little insight into what the guy with the beard has been up to. All right, let's move on to today's workshop topic, pentatonic tapping. Tapping, what is that anyway? Tapping is when you use your right hand to produce the notes, like the classic Van Halen technique here. This brings you the following advantages. You can play more interval jumps. I'd say basically like a pianist using his two hands. The ability to play bass notes and higher notes with the right hand is also available. This gives you the opportunity to spread your things out further. You can reach a higher speed because you have an additional sound production mechanism, the right hand. And as I said, you can play lines that you couldn't possibly reach with just one hand. So, unusual. Interval jumps, of which I'll show you plenty later on. When it comes to tapping, at some point you have to ask yourself the fundamental question, which finger should actually do the tapping? You probably all know this. Eddie Van Halen, for example, mostly did it with his index finger, but he also tapped incredibly long sequences. And of course that brings up the issue. What do you do with the pick during that time? Many guitarists wedge it here between their middle finger and the palm of their hand. Or you put the pick in your mouth or whatever else works. At some point I decided to use my middle finger for tapping. The advantage is that you can still hold your pick in your hand and use your middle finger for tapping. I'll just try something out real quick. For example, something like this, where I have some picking, a quick tap, and then need to keep picking. There you'd have a problem if you try to do it by wedging your pick in your hand for that brief moment to tap the note up here. So I do it all with my middle finger. In my opinion, the middle finger is also the stronger finger for tapping, and you just have to try it out for yourself. I'm not trying to force this on anyone. These are just my own personal advantages that I see in it. Of course, if you say, no, I prefer the index finger, then tap with your index finger. No problem at all. All right, then let's start with lick number 1. I've put together a nice connection for you here from the A minor pentatonic scale, first box. That's actually the first thing every guitarist learns. And the right hand taps starting at the 12th fret on the A string, so on the root note. Here's the following line, which I'll show you here. On the right side of the fretboard diagram, you can see the position where the right hand taps. So it's a pretty straight line, except for the B string there. It's the 13th fret. So visually, the whole thing is quite simple because you can easily remember this line. So shown very slowly, you do a tap with the right hand on the 12th fret of the A string, a pull off to the 5th fret left hand, a hammer on 7th fret left hand. You can see that I rest my palm, the area of my palm, here. That way I have a guide for my right hand. This gives my right hand more strength to hammer on, and I also have the option, when I move to the higher strings, to gradually roll my palm onto the strings to mute the previously played strings. So again, I will gently tap on the 12th fret, then smoothly pull off, and then quickly hammer on. Now I will do precisely the same action on the D string. I'll go to the 12th fret, then pull off to the 5th fret, and finally hammer on to the 7th fret. G string, the same thing. On the B string, it's the 13th fret, because we're tapping, yes, also. Up here with the right hand, only notes from the A pentatonic, so 13. And now on the E string again, the 12th fret. I'll show you the whole thing again with a backing track. So that was lick 1, a little exercise, pretty easy. I think anyone, even someone who's never tapped before, can play that back fairly quickly. Now I'm going to put the same figure into a 16th note grid. I've already explained that to you several times in the last 2 workshops. And if you put a 3-note group on one string into a 16th note grid, you get a wonderful shift because the tap is not always on the quarter notes or 8th notes, but the figure shifts internally. It's best if you listen to the following track, then you'll know what I mean. Okay, in example 3, we're going to pick up the speed a bit. We're going up to 6,000 RPM. Here we have that nice effect again. The tabs in the right hand are really great on the accents, which you can really feel in the rhythm. So triplet and sextuplet figures are a bit easier to follow, and maybe you should start with those. Exercise 4. Sextuplets in groups of 3. A group of 3 means you play from the starting note on the A string down 3 strings. And now you go back 1 string and start on the D string. Now from the G string. And then the whole thing back again. Listen to it once with the backing track. In the following exercise 5, I introduce a new sequence. Now it's like this. You tap, pull off to the 8th fret, pull off to the 5th fret, so like this. Previously we had this tapping on the 12th fret, pull off to the 5th fret, Hammer on to the 8th fret. Of course, you can also change the order with your left hand. It gives a slightly different sound. Listen to it once with the backing track. Exercise 6, the same sequence I just showed you, now in 16th notes over the backing track. Exercise 7, sextuplets in groups of 3. Sounds a bit wilder already? Give it a listen. Exercises 8 to 10 are 3 bonus licks. I won't display them on screen, but you'll find them linked below the video in the tabs. I've put together a nice little package there, with all the tabs in Guitar Pro as PDFs with backing tracks with and without guitar. Totally worth it. Check it out. So in exercise 8, the goal is to connect 2 complete pentatonic positions using both your left and right hand. Specifically, the left hand plays the first position and the right hand plays the 4th position. Give it a listen. Exercise 9 gets a bit crazier. It almost sounds like a synthesizer effect or something like that. Here I'm still connecting the first position with the octave position. Sounds nice, pretty wild. Give it a listen. Exercise 10, the same exercise as before in exercise 9, but now in 30-second notes. Then you'll have a cool show-off lick for your next visit to the music store. Alright, my friends, that was my pentatonic tapping workshop. I hope you were able to get something out of it. Any new ideas that enrich your playing, make you faster, make your playing more modern, whatever it may be. I hope it was useful for you. It was a lot of work, but I also had a lot of fun doing it. I've written out the entire workshop for you in Guitar Pro first class notation. Everything is accurate and it even sounds good. The whole thing is also available as a PDF for those who don't have Guitar Pro. I've made backing tracks. I've included the tracks with guitar as well. You can find all of it linked below the video. It's a wonderful learning package. You should definitely download it. If you had fun, if you learned something, if your playing improves because of this, please do me a favor, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, whatever you like. I would be absolutely thrilled if the channel continues to grow and my tips reach more people who can benefit from them and improve their guitar playing. Alright, I'm off to work on the next workshop. I wish you lots of fun, have a great time, take care, and I'll see you next week. See you then.